Welcome to this explainer, everyone. You know, if you've ever felt completely overwhelmed by the sheer number of rules and exceptions in English grammar, well, trust me, you are absolutely not alone. But today we're looking at a pretty fascinating source that literally strips all of that away. We're going to explore a foundational visual blueprint that actually makes mastering tenses completely logical and, dare I say, predictable. Let's get into it. I mean, have you ever wanted to construct a sentence but just completely frozen up trying to choose the right helping verb? Or maybe you're reading a sentence and you literally have no idea why they used a specific verb form? It's a massive roadblock for sure. But the framework we're digging into today actually offers a highly mathematical, logical system to solve exactly this. So honestly, no more guessing. Okay, let's dive into this roadmap. First up, the core of tenses. Then we'll look at the 12 categories, followed by identification and helping verbs. After that, we'll hit the master sentence rules and finally crafting interrogative sentences. So starting right off with section 1, the core of tenses, understanding the basics. At its absolute core, this source defines a tense simply as a time-telling tool for an action. Like, it's just the part of English grammar that dictates exactly when an event occurred, is currently occurring, or will occur down the line. It really just answers one fundamental question: when did the work actually happen? And, viewing tenses merely as timestamps, it really makes the whole system feel significantly less intimidating. Moving on to part 2, the 12 categories, the big picture. Now, everything really begins with 3 primary time frames that, honestly, we all intuitively know. We've got the present, which is happening right now, like you watching this explainer. The past, covering actions that already happened, say if you watched an explainer yesterday. And the future, dealing with things that will happen, like, you eventually using these exact rules in your next conversation. And right here is a really important number to keep in mind: 12. The universe of tenses is absolutely not infinite. This entire framework focuses on exactly 12 specific categories. That's it. Master these 12, and you've basically mapped out the entire English timeline. So, how do we actually get to 12? Well, each of those 3 main time frames we just talked about, present, past, and future, is divided into 4 identical subcategories. You've got indefinite, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. So it's like a grid. A present time frame has an indefinite, a past time frame has an indefinite, and the future time frame has an indefinite. It's just 3 main time frames multiplied by 4 subcategories, which gives us our beautifully contained number of 12. Simple math, right? All right, section 3, identification and helping verbs, the diagnostic toolkit. Okay, to figure out where we actually are on this map, we can borrow a really brilliant analogy straight from the source material. They call it the uncle's house analogy. Imagine you're trying to visit your uncle. First things first, you need to find his village, right? That represents our main tense. Is it present, past, or future? Okay, once you're in the village, you need to find a specific neighborhood or mahalla, which is our subcategory: indefinite, continuous, perfect, or perfect continuous. And finally, you look for the exact color of his house's gate. In grammar terms, that house color is the exact ending marker of the sentence. So you're literally just narrowing it down step by step until you arrive at the exact correct location. It's like a giant puzzle. And here is where this diagnostic toolkit really comes together. This right here is a highly visual, totally screenshotable cheat sheet. If a thought ends with routine markers, boom, you instantly know it's present indefinite, which links directly to do or does. Now, if there's a continuous action marker, that drops you straight into the present continuous neighborhood, requiring is, are, or am. And if the action is already completely done, well, you're at the present perfect house, requiring has or have. Honestly, I highly recommend reviewing this daily. Taking a mental picture of this exact logic is pretty much the secret to finding the right helping verb every single time. So the crucial point is, once the actual tense is identified, this framework gives us these totally unbreakable shortcut rules for the main verb. For instance, continuous subcategories absolutely always use the ing form. Perfect subcategories lock in the third form, or V3. And past indefinite, it exclusively uses the second form, V2. I love it because it's just such an incredibly structured system, there's no guesswork. Which brings us to part 4, the master sentence rules, the assembly line. Okay, so for a standard affirmative sentence, the assembly line is pretty straightforward. You've got subject, helping verb, main verb, and object. Boom, boom, boom. But, and you definitely want to pay attention here, there are two fascinating exceptions to watch out for. In present indefinite and past indefinite affirmative sentences, the helping verb actually drops out completely. Boof, gone. You just place the subject right next to the modified main verb, so keep an eye out for that. Now, when you're expressing a negative thought, I really want you to notice exactly where the word not belongs. It sits precisely between the helping verb and the main verb. Actually, a lot of learners mess this up. Placing it somewhere else is a really common pitfall. But this specific assembly line strictly requires it to be wedged right in the middle. All right, into our final technical section, number 5, crafting interrogative sentences, the question master. And this brilliantly illustrates how there are basically two distinct ways we ask questions in English. Type 1, interrogative, demands just a simple yes or no answer. Think of questions starting with did you or are you. Type 2, however, digs a bit deeper. It actually asks for specific details using question words like when, why, where, or who. So the structure you end up using depends entirely on what kind of answer you're actually looking for. So check this out. For a type 1 yes-no question, we completely flip the standard affirmative formula. You literally take that helping verb and you pull it all the way to the very front of the sentence. So it becomes helping verb, then subject, then the main verb, and finally the object. Oh, and if it's a negative question, then not just slips right in after the subject. Honestly, this simple little flip is the mechanical secret to asking a yes-no question perfectly every time. Now, moving to a type 2 question, it follows the exact same structure as type 1. The only real difference here is that the specific question word, your when, where, why, or how, leads the entire pack. It goes at the absolute front, immediately followed by your helping verb, subject, verb, and object. So really, once you memorize that type 1 flip we just talked about, type 2 is incredibly easy to build. As the old saying goes, practice makes a man perfect. We've looked at an absolutely incredible visual blueprint today. But listen, taking screenshots is great, but applying these mathematical frameworks to your own daily thoughts and your own writing, That is what's actually going to lock this system firmly into place in your brain. So I want to leave you with a quick challenge. Using these exact building blocks, can you translate just one thought floating in your head right now? Seriously, try it. Can you find its village, spot its mahala, and then run it through this exact assembly line? Give it a shot. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this framework today, and I will see you in the next explainer.